Okay, now we're in part 4 of building the trail site. And if you think about it, much of what you want has already been done. You now have a home page that has a list of the trails or description, whatever you want. You have the drop down, you hit the button, and boom, you have that. Now I put in both of these pages map. Let's go somewhere else for a second. Let's go to the GMAP pedometer site, which has been around for a while, and it's a great site. I use it all the time for measuring courses and whatnot. And remember that when you're you're describing the trail site, I don't know how much you're talking about the precision of a map. You can get a map, you can embed a map from, let's say, a Garmin in here, but one of the things you want to do in describing the trail site is mention any peculiarities or difficulties that someone might have getting lost. There are certain trails in which you inevitably will get lost, and in those cases, in New York, there's the Rockies, which is the Rockefeller Estate. You basically try to give landmarks that people should look for or ask about, which they can then use to get to where they want to go. But giving a map, it may well be that people carry maps nowadays or have it on a smartphone. But for the most part, let them figure it out. You want to tell them where they're going, give them as much information as you can, but don't sweat the maps too much. So what I'm going to do is, one thing you want on a map is to show people how to get to the site. So that's what GMAP pedometer comes in handy. It also comes in handy for rough numbers for the length of a trail, although you might want to use a Garmin to provide that information. This site is pretty straightforward. You just put in your zip code. I put in 10708. And again, my objective here is to show how to get to the trail as well as a sense of what the trail looks like. And so I'm going to go to one of the trails. If you looked at the Westchester Trails page I pulled up, this will be the Twin Lakes Trail. And this is how the pedometer site works. Again, it's a Google application, and you see right here is what I'm talking about. And sometimes with the trail, it's easier to pull up on a satellite because it may not be easy to find out where it is. And that's the parking lot right there. So what I want to do is I want to start the recording there. Hit that start. It goes automatically for runners. You can see the options here. For cyclist distinction is it doesn't allow you to go the wrong way on a one-way street. So you just basically click the button. And that starts you on your way, and it starts mapping the course. I'm sorry, let me undo that. Undo that. Because it's a trail, I'm going to do straight lines. Okay? But if you're doing roads, use the runner one, and that's great. This will just be straight lines. And this is an approximation for this particular trail. Okay? Because my purpose is really to give people a sense of where it is. Where I'm clicking right now on this particular trail, you can't get lost. There's only one trail on the east side of the lake, but there are a number of them in this area here. So people are kind of on their own for that stretch, unfortunately. But this is a rough measuring of this trail. But the purpose of this map is not to tell you precisely what the distance of the trail is. It's basically to tell people how to get to the trail. Now this particular trail, I'm starting in a parking lot. So I'm finishing in the parking lot. That's your basic loop. Okay? Now because people are likely to want to use the mapping function to find out how to get there, you generally would go to the mapping function. And I'm going to just back out of this a little bit to just give people a sense of where it is. You see there is a 1.3 whatever it is miles. It's an approximation, but you want to give people information as to how far the trail is. Remember, much of the trail running you do will be based upon the time. See there, I just wanted to say, where is this little trail? It is basically just up the road from Manhattan. There's Central Park. Obviously, you're not going to be doing your trail there. So you want to get it close enough so people can see it and understand it. And I'm about to run out of time. So we'll just finish this process in the final video of this series.